Hi everyone, welcome to today's event. Welcome to today's Flutter Festival 2022. Okay, so this is an annual event where we come together to learn about Flutter, Google technologies, Firebase Cloud. So we have awesome speakers lined up, and I'm sure we'll be having a lot of um, info, a lot of knowledge about Flutter and Google technologies today. So I have here on board uh, my co-host, also WTM ambassador for GDG Papi. So and I'll be bringing her up stage to introduce herself very soon. So if you're here, that means you're passionate about Flutter, you're passionate about building with Flutter, and probably you're wanting to start your journey in Flutter development. So you're very welcome. And yes, so before we start, I would like to just run down some few things we're looking at today. But before then, GDG Papi, of course, Google Developers Group Papi is community of enthusiasts, Google technology enthusiasts. Love, I love making use of Google technologies or interested in making use of Google technologies. So we have various Google technologies like what we are currently here to celebrate is Flutter. We have the popular Chrome you're using. We have Firebase, Cloud, Android. There are so many Google technologies. So if you're a user or you're a developer in any of those fields, you are a Google developer. So you're welcome to the event. So let me bring in my co-host. Hi, hello, welcome. Can you hear me?
Hi, Ayodeji. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining in today. My name is Eloho Blessing, and I'm a co-organizer for Google Developers Group Papi, and I'm also the Women Tech Maker Ambassador for GDG Papi as well. So I'm glad to have you all on board. Like he rightly said, we have amazing speakers lined up just for you guys. So before I go ahead and introduce our first speaker, I would like us all to go to the comment section, introduce ourselves, what we do, where we are from. You can just, rep your country and whatever state you are in. Yes. So I would call on our first speaker today. He will be talking on the topic calling your first API with stacked MVVM rather. So his topic is calling your first API with stacked MVVM, and he is a software engineer at FieldStack in the person of Isaac Adariko. So let's welcome him with virtual applause. Hello, Isaac. Good to
Hello,
have you
hello.
here today.
Thank you.
Isaac, please go ahead.
Okay. Good day, everyone. Thank you for joining. I believe you learned a lot. You learned so much from this section. And as they rightly say, I'm Isaac Adariku, and I'm excited to show you what I have to show you all. So just sit and relax and watch.
All right, so thank you, Isaac, for joining us. So we're moving straight to your session in a moment. Yeah, thank you for the intro, and I think your session is upcoming.
everyone. Hope you are doing great and having an exciting time in Flutter Festival. Most especially, you're also learning from all other sections that have happened. My name is Isaac Adariku, and today we'll be talking about an exciting topic titled Calling Your First API with Stack Mvvm Setup on Flutter. Basically, this section just teach you how to get data from any API, model the object, and you set it up with Stack architecture from FitStack. So let's get to know me. I'm Isaac Adari once more. I'm a software engineer at FitStack. I I started basically with native development and I moved to Flutter and I've been doing Flutter TypeScript. I also mentor Flutter and Dart developers at HMG and Zuri internship. So without further ado, let's get to the topic of the day, and that is data. I think the main reason why we are having this topic is because of data, because data is everywhere. We need data in our app, we need data in our daily life. So as a developer, we need to know how to call this data. So there are some few questions I'll be throwing to you to help us like a guideline to know why we are doing this. So basically, we need to know how we can get data into our app. We need to know how to integrate APIs into our app, and not just that, we need to know how to integrate it very well. So this is where MVVM comes up. So let's look at why we need to call API. So the word API will be going up and down. So API stands for Application Programming Interface. This allows application to actually talk to each other. So like I can open my Google Chrome, my browser, and I can go to www.facebook.com. I can get a response of the Facebook page. So my browser can actually talk to the Facebook app. Also, it provides building block when creating a program. I can define my user, that all my users must have a first name, username, um, phone number. So with this setup, I can actually share it with the team and the designer when designing, it can know that, okay, because the API requests for first name, last name, phone number, I must put it on this design so that the developers can code that and send to the API. So also it helps developer to stop reinventing the wheel. So basically with that, I don't need to start creating a user every part of my app. I just need to create a user somewhere. And if like I want to do a review, if I just click that review, it picks the user ID and attached to that review. So that would be like the author of the review. So also let's look why Mvvm setup. Mvvm is more like the view model and model. So with Mvvm, we can have a better separation of concern. This actually allows us to address a separate concern, like basically a single detail part of the app. We are concerned with that part. With MVVM, you can actually do this. This also flatten your dependency to create focus. By focus, I mean you can actually work on a single functionality of the app. You don't need to go start disturbing all this. You can actually test it because of MVVM, because you are flattening your dependency. You can actually test your app easily and be more concise by injecting mock dependency into your test easily. So why Stack by Stack community? It's because Stack is a package on Flutter and its focus it's more on MVVM inspired architectures. It has functionalities that helps us to set MVVM easily, and also it's target for a large application. So we don't want as a developer we'll be building just only to do app. We want to target something very large, and the community is actually great. The community can help us to solve issues like when you have issues, because all of us we have a common goal. We can actually cover all futures issues anytime. So let's look like how API is working. So when you are in your app, you call an API, you have access to like music, Spotify, you have access to videos, YouTube, you have access to location with your Google map. So this is just like the visual display of it, and this is like the technical parts. Your app actually sends a request to the API, and the API responds back with data. And the data is structured in this manner. So we'll be looking and we'll be seeing some examples like this. So this is also a visual display of MVVM. Basically, it has view model, like I said, and model. This model just wrap functionalities like service and repository and other pattern that you want to use. So the view actually sends to the view model. The view model sends to the service or any functionality, and it replies back to the view model. The view model handles those business logic and sends back to the view. So you have separation of concerns. Nobody is doing what it's not supposed to do. So with this, we can jump to the technical part of API so we don't waste our time. Let's get our hands busy. But before that, we need to know how API work. So any application, let's say a user application, can make several requests. It can be get, post, put, delete, and you actually get a request and a response back from the API. The API just query the database and gives you back your data. This data can be in a form of JSON, HTML, and XML, but one of the most popular um, formats we use is the JSON. The JSON is actually recognized by humans and computers, so it's easy for you to know that, okay, these like my key, these are my values and all. So we have just 6 steps to integrate API into Flutter. So basically, as you can see, we get the API, the URL, endpoints. Then step 2, we create a file that stores those constants, and we add any of this package to use to make API call. We need packages to make API call. We don't just want to um, go into our app and not find a package. There are several packages from Flutter that helps us to do this. So these are like one of the most 3 popular ones. So we create a model class to pass this JSON. We'll be looking into all this, and we'll create a service file that handles this API call, and basically this is what you need, and you can use the data in your app. So let's jump to the step 1 and 2. So what you do basically here is you get the API URL and endpoint. So the URL is just like the base address of that your API. So the endpoints are basically like /user /to do /id. You can have any slash. Those are endpoints that you can use. So basically what we do, we are using JSON placeholder. Is a free public API. You can go there and use it to learn and use it to test your app. So we'll be using the /users endpoints because it has a lot, and we can easily use that. So we'll create, after creating your Flutter app, which we will do that, and we'll now create a constant.dat, and with that we can add this, and this is how it will look like you have a class of API constants, and you add your base URL and you add your users endpoint. So next we'll be adding a package for the HTTP request. Like I said, there are several packages you can use, HTTP, Geo, but one of the basic and easy package to use is the HTTP package. So we'll go to our prospect.yaml and we'll add that to it. So with that, we'll have to create our model class. So basically this step, we need to create a model class to pass our JSON. You can actually use the key, but it's always advisable that you create a model class because it's actually effective and easy way to do it. So to create a model class, we actually go to the JSON placeholder. We get our response, then we go to the app.quicktype and we paste the JSON response on the left side, and you can name your model any name you feel like. Then these steps basically just help you to create your model. So when you get those response from the app QuickType, you can create a file user model.dat on your app and you paste the code. So let's look at the service part. So what happened on the service part? We create API service file on the app. We create a method to actually get this. So these are the various steps we'll be going through to use, and we check. The last step is for us to check the status, and it returns. And if it returns the if it's 200, 200 is like a success note on for all API. Once everything is 200, it's always like you can see sometime you see 404 not found. So 200 is like success. So once it's 200, we can actually get our JSON back. So at the end, this is how your API service will look. So basically, this is how we use the API. We create a user list, and what we call the API service. And once we get the data, we set states, and we can actually use it. So at the end, this is what we'll be getting from our app. So with this, we'll actually jump into the code, but I just want us to have a brief idea of what we'll be doing. The slide will be available for you, and you can actually go through it step by step, so you get more insights. And but at the end, this is how our app will look. So next, we'll go to the technical part of Mvvm after setting this up. So how do Stack work? Stack is actually very simple. It's just it's you have to set up your view models, and then your services, like just like the design said. The design said you should set view model. I said models can be your service, your models, your repository. So the UI, the view just show the UI. It does not contain any logic. The view model manager states the business logic and any other user interaction. So the service is where it wraps a lot, like integrating an API, database, and others. So with that, you can actually do that. So we have just 5 steps in setting up Mvvm using Stack. So that is we add the Stack package, then we create view model services folder to house the files, and then we for each view you have to create like the home view model, and inside of the home folder. So we use our view model builder to wrap the widget, and you run your app and you enjoy all this functionality. So right now we'll be rushing to jump into our code. I have like the code set up already. So basically, like, I have 2 folders here. The first one is calling the first API. This is like basically 2 apps, and this is the next one with Stack. So we'll look at this. Like I said in the beginning, you have to create your constant. So this is like the constant I created, and after creating the constant, you place this. So you can, if you go to these sites, like if you click on this site, you will see their site, and when you add this slash user, you will get response from the API. So I'll quickly show you that so that you can see. So I'll just, this is like the base URL. So when I add slash users, okay, so this is like my JSON response. You can see it passed JSON. So with this, when I copy, when I go to app, sorry, that should be app. Okay, let me quickly. So wait, let me go there and see. Okay. Mm. Okay, so passing our JSON. So this is it. So paste the I paste the code I have from, sorry, let me go and see. Okay, so I copy this and I paste the code. Okay, uh, Martin, few minutes, please. So, okay, let's see. Okay, so okay, so basically this is what you have. So I say you should select that and you copy your code, and this you'll be having this at the end. So this is what it will generate for you. This is your model class, and this is what basically I meant by it helps you to set up um, your app. So basically, you need a name, username, email address, and this is just like our model, and it's because of the API we can be able to model this. So next, you move to your service. So the service basically just have a class that creates users and put. Remember, we create this constant. So we are having this. We are having this constant, and we use the HTTP package. We go to our prospect.yaml and we add this package, the HTTP package. So you can get this HTTP package easily by paste code. Okay. Martin, few minutes, please. So, okay.
Hi everyone. Currently having some technical challenges with this stream, but I'll be adding Isaac to kind of um, I'll be adding Isaac later. But we need to move to our next. We need to move to our next. We need to move to our next session, and I'll bring in up our next speaker, Cynthia, to start up with our next session. So hopefully, after a session or after the third session, would um, replay the first this first session. So sorry about that. Cynthia, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so welcome. So we are moving straight to the second session now, and we're happy to have you here. So can you introduce yourself and start your session? Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Hello everyone. My name is Cynthia Peter. I am a developer advocate with the art company, a US-based startup, focused on privacy, and we are just basically advocating for a better internet, right? Okay, so yeah, that's it about me. I don't know if there's something else to know, but yeah, if you have any questions or requests, I can reach out to me on Twitter. But yeah, so today we'll be talking about flip the internet, and I can't wait to get started. Hello, Ayedeji. Can I go on?
Yes, yes, you can go on. I understand you're
Okay.
moving to another event, so I just wanted to just go on with the session.
Okay. Yeah, I have another event in like 25 minutes. So I'll just share my slides. Give me a second. So I work with a company, the art company. We are a company based out of the US. And like I said earlier, we are focused on building a better internet, like basically a one we can be proud of, right? So if you pay attention very closely, you will understand that in the past few years, we've gone from uh, having the internet and enjoying everything that comes with it to a time where we now struggle, yeah, where we now struggle with a lot of things. Give me a second, I'm trying to share. I'm trying to share, but I can't find it. Um, okay. Uh, Second slides. Okay, looks like I'll be speaking without my slides. Can't figure out how to share here. Okay, so flip the internet with Flutter is the topic for today, and like I said, Cynthia Peter, developer advocate with the ad company. So what we'll be talking about today is what's the concept behind flip the internet. Um, we'll be talking about understanding what flip the internet basically means, right? So I know a couple of times, for those that follow me maybe on Twitter or those that follow me on different social media handles, I get to talk about this particular topic. And most of the time, it's something very strange to people. I mean, for me, it was something I had to take some time to understand too, but here we are, right? So basically, the internet we are used to is the type where you sign up with your Gmail account. You sign up for a Gmail account, and with your Gmail account, you can access basically any application or website on the internet, right? So, but now there are downsides to that, and one of the downsides are
I Cynthia,
while
can you
you
try sharing your screen again?
okay. Um, okay. This is not working. This is not working. This is not working. I don't know why. I tried this yesterday and it's worked. And today it's not. Cancel. Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, your screen is live.
Okay. Awesome. So I'll just okay. So today we'll be talking about the concepts behind flip the internet, right? What the platform is. As a developer, how do I get started? Because I understand that this is a meetup for mostly Flutter developers. Then understanding what art signs are, how you can get an art sign. Once you have your art sign, what's next? And then the cost giveaway is not like it's a thing we get to do depending. So flip the internet. Like I was saying, we are used to use our Gmail, sign up for a platform, whatever. I don't think there's any application or website you want to sign up for or gain something from that you don't need your Gmail to sign in, right? And it's really not a problem, if you ask me. But where I feel there is a challenge is the fact that whatever platform you use, as long as you're not subscribed, even in cases where you're subscribed to these platforms, you're still giving out your data, right? You're giving out your data to this platform. For example, there is something that all of us will relate to, right? You are on Twitter and you're chatting with a couple of friends and you're saying, hey guys, what's up? I'm thinking we should travel to an African country or we should just take a road trip to any of the beautiful states in Nigeria, right? Or let's say an African country. You want to travel to maybe Morocco or you want to travel to Benin Republic or any of the fun countries, right? And you're talking with your friends and you're like, yeah, maybe we should plan for one. Maybe I'll just research and I'll get back to all of you. And then you're there thinking fast. And fast forward to you going on maybe YouTube to watch a video of maybe a Flutter video, or maybe you want to get a course from Angela Yu, or you want to watch a video tutorial from London Art Brewery, right? And then you see the first ad on your screen is telling you, talk to this agent. Do you want to let me use it in the voice they use it. They'll be like, hi dear, do you want to travel to Benin? This privacy or this travel agency has you covered. And you're like, whoa, these people know my mind. How did they know this what I needed at this time? And this has happened to us very often. I mean, in the past, I felt that way too. I felt like, man, these people are so good. How did they even know what I was thinking? Till recently, when I knew better and I realized these people were just feeding me this ads. They were feeding me this data, this information based on the conversations I've had. And what does that mean? It implies that they are observing or reading through my messages or reading through my chats with my friends. Right now, you may say, yeah, who has the time to read everything one by one? They may not have the time to read everything one by one, but then they have crawlers that are picking out these keywords and eventually sending you this feeds, these ads that are custom made to fit whatever you want at that time. Remember when you check out there's a trend on Twitter, and then you see you wake up in the morning and like when it happened, someone on my timeline was like, not one person, like more than 10 people on my timeline are like, and they are seeing proposal, love, and everybody's just talking about their partner. What's happening? Like, is the world coming to an end? And everybody was laughing. It's just what it is. It's just the algorithm, right? So once people are in that feel of all lovey-dovey, people just, you notice that your timeline gets populated. Just like one picture or image of a proposal, and the next second or the rest of the day you probably see two or three more, right? And these people are probably people that are not even on your timeline, but then you're shocked, like, why are these people feeding me this stuff, right? So that's the power of data. That's what happens when we put our information out there, or when we try to use the internet or use tools on the internet, and then you observed things that, yes, maybe you need them or things you want, but then at that moment, you're also scared because you don't know how much of your information or personal conversations that are out there. All right. So today's internet architecture, you are there, and all these platforms have your data. You're not in charge of saying, okay, my bank app, you can only have my address to deliver my card. And after they've delivered your card, you can't say, okay, I don't want this bank to have my address anymore, right? So that's a problem. You understand? So once you sign into these platforms, that means they have your data forever. You sign into another platform, they have your data forever. You sign into Google and you decide, oh, I don't want to use Google anymore, and then you delete your account. It doesn't delete whatever data you have on their data farms, right? So we thought about it and we think that's a problem. So there's this quote I love: privacy is not an option and it shouldn't be the price we accept for just being on the internet. All right. And so simply this quote kind of explains itself. And what this quote is trying to tell us is that, yes, we've gotten to a point where the internet is something we mostly can do without, but also the fact that we have to pay the price of not having any privacy. Like, you can't just use the internet freely, or you can't just send things without being scared of, are you sure this thing is not saved somewhere? Are you sure this thing is not where or there? Right? It's a huge challenge, right? So that shouldn't be the price we pay. Such an expensive we shouldn't pay such an expensive price just because we want to be on the internet. Like, I mean, it's just the internet, right? And it's man-made, right? So for flipping the internet, we are doing it the reverse way. So rather than you signing into these apps or signing into these applications with requests for your data, right? So you have this defense person, right? For those that know a little bit about stuff, you have this defense person, and then this person kind of breaches the communication between your data and whatever application that wants to access your data, right? So this time around, if you want to use any application, you download the application on Play Store or anywhere, and then instead of signing in with an email and signing in with instead of signing in with an email and a password and all those long list of data, you just need to sign in with just an @ sign. And an @ sign is just like a fancy username, just like I am Cynthia Peter, just like at GDSC, just like at Google. There's just an @ in front of it. So with an @ sign, you can just log into this application and boom, you're making use of it, right? So flipping the internet is not just for us, the team members, to build these applications. We are also encouraging Flutter developers to build on this SDK, right? Why? Because building on this means you're building end-to-end encrypted applications. You're building applications that people can use, people can trust. You're building applications that at the end of the day, you don't need to sell ads on the app to make money, because automatically anyone that signs up and gets a custom ad signs, a custom ad sign practically earns you money, right? So this is how it works. Just like domain names, we now wake up these days and we just buy domain names for $5, for $10, for whatever amount of dollars, right? So an ad sign just serves that same purpose. It serves like a domain name, it serves like an email, but this time around is a combination of both. So with an ad sign, you can automatically just log into this application that an amazing Flutter developer built. And when it's time to use the application, you don't necessarily need to enter any fancy email or passwords to access the application or make use of it, right? You just need to enter your ad signs and you'll be able to sign in. So, understanding the ad platform. So, here it is. The ad platform is an SDK, right? An SDK that allows Flutter developers to build mobile applications or even desktop applications that are end-to-end encrypted. End-to-end encrypted simply means this communication is between two phones or two devices, and nobody aside these two phones gets access to this information. How does that work? We don't have any data farm where we harvest or store your data. There is no server where this thing is sitting pretty. Everything is between these two phones. So whatever conversation you have on these two phones is left for these two phones. Nobody have access to it. So the ad platform is built on Dart programming language. And if you're a Flutter developer, you obviously know that Dart is where Flutter was built also. So the ad platform is built on that and it's open source, right? So you can actually say, okay, I don't like some parts of this and I want to tweak it. And you can go ahead and tweak it and make it useful for yourself the way you want it. You can build any kind of applications. Currently, we have a couple of applications that are running on it. We have Atmosphere Pro, that's for sending and sharing files. We have Arrive app, that's like location, right? So the difference now is for your file sharing, you don't have somewhere like Google where they have a data bank where these files are sitting pretty, and then when you share it, it goes across the same server. You know when they say the cloud is just another person's computer. It's just another person's computer, right? But this time around is a bigger kind of computer, a bigger kind of computer that could just take a whole compound. So that's the difference. So the ad platform is just an SDK built on on the Dart programming language and allows you to build end-to-end encrypted applications. That's it. It's that simple. Very, very simple. And the most beautiful thing about building on the ad platform is you don't have to worry about backend, because practically you don't need to infuse any backend. You don't need to like put any server. You don't need to set up any cloud. You don't need to set up storage, right? Everything just communicates everything happens between the two phones strictly. So you just focus on building your UI, implementing widgets or tools that will be very functional and beautiful for people to use. And that's it, right? So the ad platform, a change in architecture. So usually we would have like a very pretty server sitting in between, and then Alice sends to Bob, and it goes through that server and goes to each other, right? So, but this time around, it's strictly from Alice's device to Bob's device. Period. That is it. All right. Developers, do less, get more. Do less of hosting costs, backend design, key management, user password. Automatically, there are no username or passwords needed. You don't need to set up emails, passwords, all those authentication, right? You just with your ad sign, it's automatically authenticated. And then there's get more. There's faster development, there's automatic privacy compliance, there's saving on infrastructure costs, because obviously you don't pay for cloud infrastructure. Everything happens between phones. More creativity. So you can actually think wild. You can, for example, there are currently no applications that are strictly end to end, chats wise, file transfer wise, location wise. we have some of this already built, right? There's Arrive app, there's Atmosphere Pro, there's Wavy. There's a whole lot of them that are currently in production and some that are already on Play Store. So you can check any of them out and start from there. Probably if you get to test it and see how it works, it could give you an insight to how creative you can get about it. So we have pre-built widgets, so you don't have to like basically stress yourself to build everything from scratch. You can actually build like a skeleton of what you want and then take time to develop. We have an onboarding widget. So instead of the normal email and password sign-in, we have an onboarding widget. And the onboarding widget just allows your @. Once you enter your @, you're signed in, right? Then there's a chat widget, there's a location widget and notification, and then there's a whole lot more, right? So you can check it out and check our GitHub repo out, and then you get to it. So after we've built amazing solutions using the ad platform, it doesn't make any sense to use a Gmail address or a Yahoo mail address to log in. So we created @signs. Now, an @sign allows you as a person that will be making use of these applications built on the ad platform to log in. So instead of entering your email, your password, your name, first name, second name, last name, and all of that, you just need an @sign, right? You enter your @sign and you're signed into the application. That's simple. It's that simple, right? So yeah. So an @sign is just like a fancy username. It could be a Twitter username, an Instagram username that comprises of text, fun text like I am Cynthia Peter can be an @sign. I am Cynthia Peter with a blue heart is my @sign. You can also have very funny names, right? You can have very weird, crazy names also, right? Okay. So the ad platform, how to get started for developers. You first of all need basic background in Flutter, very important, and Dart. Then you can also get started with our official websites, dev sites, @sign.dev. And for packages, you get a link to our packages from the dev sites. You can also get it from pub.dev, publishers, @sign.org packages. Or you can just scan any of this and you'll be taken to the page you want. Another way you can join is you can join our Discord. You get to ask your questions. Say, for example, you decide to check out @sign.dev after now, and there's something you're interested in, or you have a question about anything. You can join our Discord, or if you don't want to join Discord, you can send me a DM on Twitter, or join our Discord and send me a private DM, and I'll be really, really excited to answer you. We have summer internship, and the deadline is 15th of March. We had Twitter Spaces about it yesterday, and I decided I wanted to talk about it today. So if you're interested, we are hiring for technology or engineering stock. We have marketing, and then you can create your own. So if you finish looking at the website, the dev site @sign.dev and @sign.com, which is our official website, and you feel there is something creative you can bring to the team, there's a skill you feel you can bring to the table and help us advocate for what we are doing at the company or improve on our marketing or anything. It could even be product design, anything at all, or even improving any of our widgets or any of our products. Sure, be free to reach out and we'll be really, really excited to talk to you. Okay. So if you want information on that, you can visit @sign.com/college hub. All right. We are scouting for developer ambassadors. You can reach out or not. Okay. So thank you, Flutter Festival, for having me. We'll take any questions you have. If you have any questions, I am sure I have answers. And thank you. If you have any questions, please ask on the chat or reach out to me after now because I may not stay here very long. Reach out to me after now and I'll be really, really excited to answer your questions. Thank you very much. Really appreciate this time. Okay. Any question? Any question? Any question?
Okay, thank you very much, Cynthia, for the session. I believe most people, anyone who has question will drop on the chat. Okay, thank you for joining us to share a session. So we'll be moving next to the giveaway part before we go to our third speaker for the day. So we have some giveaways. We also have data support for attendees. So if you're attending and you're currently connected, so just take a screenshot of you attending this event. So after now, we'll send out a form that you fill to get yourself the data we promised. So also, and we also have another giveaway, which is yeah. So that one is a surprise giveaway. So and I'm going to ask that. I'm going to give out that at the end of this session. So stay tuned till the end, and you qualify for the next giveaway. So let's go to our next speaker. The next speaker is Muhyiddin. Yeah, so he's a software developer and he's also GDS lead for Footmina. So, and we are excited to have him here to have him share about the app life cycle in Flutter. So, you're a Flutter dev. This is a very important topic for you. Very, very important topic for you to know about the app life cycle for Flutter. So, hi, Muhyiddin, are you there?
Hi, hi everyone. Can you hear me?
Your audio is low.
Oh, sorry. Hello.
I
Can
don't
you
know
hear
if it's
me?
just me, but your audio is low.
Wow, wow, wow. Hi everyone. Hello.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, cool. I believe you can hear me clearly. But mm, hello. Oh my God.
Yeah, you can go on.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So, my name is Moide Mujib. Okay, let me share my screen first. I'm coming. Mm, okay. Sorry everyone, please. I had some issue. Let me quickly re-authenticate my Google stuff. Oh my God.
Okay, so while you're trying to get that up, so don't forget to send a screenshot of you attending this event. So we'll be having our first session was kind of very very poor. So because of some issues with the stream, so we'll be calling up the first speaker again after this session to round up the stock, especially the code lab. I think the code lab was very important and it wasn't showing in the first stream. So we'll be coming up again after this session to take up his code lab. So just stay tuned. You don't want to miss that. It's a very technical
Hi.
session and working with APIs. So make sure you're available for the next session. So also to qualify for the final giveaway I'm putting out, giving out, you have to stay till that next session, and that's when I'll be announcing how you can win. It's a surprise giveaway, and you never know what it is. So, but stay tuned to that time. So, Muidin, have you been able to sort out the
Yeah, can you see
challenge?
my screen?
Say what?
Hello, can you see my screen?
Yeah, have you been able to? Okay, can see your screen now.
Okay, cool. Sorry about that. So, like the issue I had was like using my second email to authenticate to share the file, which is not where I have the presentation. So, my name is Muri Mujib. Uh, I'm a software developer, also current GDS lead for everything, you know. Today I'll be talking about app lifecycle in Flutter. So there is this saying like everything is a widget in Flutter, right? Yeah, yeah. If you are coming from the background of like web development using some of these SPA framework like React, Vue.js, used to more like using components. But in Flutter, we call some of these components we call them a widget. So uh, particularly looking at how big the React is, there is this particular very big topic in React, which is the life cycle. I mean, the component life cycle. So same thing we have it in Flutter too. But before I actually dive into some of this stuff, yeah, everything is a widget, right? Sorry, can you hear me, please? Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. So the life cycle of the Flutter app is just like from where the state started, the whole stuff. But I think let me quickly start from this part whereby so in Flutter, uh, widget is actually divided into two. We have stateless widget and stateful widget. Yeah. So if you actually like if you're a beginner, like just starting writing your Flutter, like just started, so what's stateless and stateful? Stateless widget is just a normal widget. Like it's just a normal widget that's run at the. I mean, when your app run at the wrong time, so it's run. I mean, the basic part of stateless widgets is just like the whole state. You can't actually change anything. Like uh, stateless widget is immutable, right? And what I mean by immutable is more like you have a state, right? Let's say you have a counter or you have an integer, or let's say it's any variable, maybe a name or something. So within stateless widget, you can change any variable there, right? Because stateless widget is just more like a constant widget. And we all believe like from like the likes of Kotlin, JavaScript, any particular variable or something that you use constant to declare, you can override the state. I mean, you can change the old stuff. So that's what stateless widget is all about. So stateless widget run at the runtime. I mean, immediately it runs. One of the most important thing and how big stateless widget is for your app is like it doesn't consume more energy. I mean, it doesn't consume more resources during the runtime. So it's just like you run your app or you see the whole widget at a time. But so this kind of like example of stateless widget, right? This stateless widget, we have a container here with a color of this color particularly is yellow, right? So this example of stateless widget. Then what stateful widget, right? A stateful widget are those widgets that hold the state and the UI being portrayed and can change progressively at runtime. Uh, this is more like for example, now I believe if you're already starting writing Flutter, when you first generate your Flutter code, the first thing that comes up is uh, the Flutter example, I mean, the counter example, where you have stateless widget and stateful widget. So inside your stateful widget, you can, there's this particular stuff, you have the float button and some are like counter where you click a button and the whole state starts to change. So in short, stateful widget is mutable. I mean, you can change your state progressively at the wrong time. I mean, you already build your app, you get to change stuff. Any widget where you get to like change stuff particularly is a what is a stateful widget. Uh, so this is an example of stateful widget, right? This is an example of stateful widget. Then I don't know if I'm making some points. Hello, hello.
Yes, please go ahead. We can hear you.
Okay, thank you. So here I'll be talking about the life cycle of the whole widget. Like as I mentioned, we have stateless, we have stateful widget. So life cycle actually happens within stateful widget. Why is it not happening in I mean stateless widget? Is because I already explained that. Like first thing is like stateless widget is immutable. You can't change the whole state. The whole state is what is constant. After you build your you have the whole state is what is constant, so nothing can be changed, which means there's no particular state within your stateless widget. So life cycle actually happen within what within stateful widget. So these are the example of the example of life cycle that we have in stateful widget, from constructor to like create state. From there to we have init state, the change dependency, the update widget. We have the build method, set state method, dispose, and I think there's another one, the activate, right? So that's some of the example of life cycle that we have in stateful widget. So I'll be explaining them one after the other, and we get to like see example of what I'm actually talking about. So let me go to the next slide. So the first thing we're going to be talking about is the create state method. All right. So create state method is actually like let me say more like the entry point of your stateful widget. A stateful widget cannot be a stateful widget without calling the create state method. I mean, because immediately like you create a stateful widget, the first method that is going to be called is create state method, and that's where the whole state that you're about to render is going to like happen. You get my point? Like for example, now let me show you here. So we have the create state method here, and this is the state we are calling, which is wrap. I mean, inside your create state method, you return the actual state that you want to render in for your state widget, right? And this is the constructor that we have here, where you get to like pass. Maybe you have a dynamic argument, or more like you are receiving some data from maybe the parent widget or something. So uh, that's what actually happened in this constructor. Then we have the create state. You can see that this create state method actually overrides the create state method inside the parent widget, which is the state widget area we extend, right? Then that create state method return the actual state that you want to render for your stateful widget. And this is our, this is the old state that we want to render here. So the next thing after the create state is the init state, right? So what's the init state? Immediately your stateful widget call the create state method. The next thing that is going to happen is to call the init state before the build method, right? Even before calling build method, there's another method that is going to be called before calling the build method. But immediately after the create state, what we actually have is what init state, and this actually a particular method that actually like call the init state. Let me actually show us this. You can say in this particular, from the definition here is like your init state actually override the init state in your stateful widget. You get. Then that init state we call the init state inside the stateful widget. Which is the parent widget, because you can see from here that in our constructor, this constructor actually like call a super method, right? This super method is actually belong to this stateful widget class. You get the point? I think am I making sense? So, so um, what's the importance of using state init state is that, for example, let's say you actually want to make a call to an HTTP method based on the first what Festival was actually saying. Like you want to, maybe you are making an HTTP call to let's say a backend or an external API using your HTTP package or something. So one of the importance of using the init state is like you can actually make the request inside the init state before your widget is going to be mounted. Hello, sorry, actually had a call coming. Sorry about that. So there's a particular keyword I went here, right? Um, that particular keyword is mounted. So in this init state, you can call that mounted keyword. The mounted keyword is just a normal Boolean value that actually available inside your words, inside your stateful widget. So this particular keyword, you can use it to track anytime anytime your widget is mounted, which means the whole context is actually available. By the time your mounted keyword is true, that means the context is actually available at that particular period of time. So before that, before your widget is going to be mounted, you can call your API inside the init state, right? Which means by the time your widget is about to mount, you can immediately use the value that you get from your API, right? I don't know if I make some sense here. So another advantages of using in this case is if you are using like animation, kind of like maybe you animate some widget within your stateful widget. So you from inside your init state, you can listen to more like a stream. For example, now when the animation change or something, you can listen to a stream of controller from your animation, or maybe you are using kind of this Firebase whereby you authenticate a user. So in init state method, you can listen to a stream whether the user is actually like connected or not connected, right? So another method that we have is we have the chain dependency. So the chain dependency actually available immediately the init state, right? It's actually available immediately in state. So what advantages of using the chain dependency is more like let's say you extend your stateful widget inside another parent widget. So within this chain dependency, this one will listen to if there's any value, if there's any variable change in your parent widget. So it listens to some of this particular stuff, then re-render, it's called your build method to re-render some of these changes that you might have. For example, let's say immediately you get a data from any state, right? So, and you update your particular variable that you have. inside the parent widget. So this the change dependency will listen to some of these changes and call the build method in order to show the right stuff for your users. So why one thing is like particularly is that you see most of these changes, most of this life cycle are not really that important for you as a developer. I mean, it's not a must for you to actually call them, right? But one of the most important method, I mean, one of the most important life cycle is your build method, because there's no way you can render your UI without calling the build method inside your stateful widget. Because this method is the method that actually return the whole context of your UI to the user, whether there is a change from your variable or whatever. So it's the one that render uh, the whole UI. You get the point. So if there's anything that's modified within the whole object, I mean the whole context, this life cycle, I mean this build method is the one that normally called to re-render the widget. Then the next thing is we have the update widget. So this particular the update widget is more like let's say your update a state now, right? Something changed, most especially when you have more like a child widget inside the parents widget, and inside the parents widget you are updating a stuff that actually affects your child widget, right? So you can actually listen to whether uh, the widget is actually available or not within this the update widget. Let's say you call a set state or after your build method already occurred. I mean, the whole context is returned within your parent widget, right? Then this particular the update widget will be called if there's any child widget within your parent widget. Then we have a set state. So a set state actually is kind of like a method whereby I mean it's a kind of like a method whereby you can use to change your any variable within, within your stateful widget. So immediately you call this particular method, all right? Though it will call the build method in order to re-render some of the affected UI for you, because there's this particular stuff in that. I mean, I think I don't remember actually, but that's actually used like two compiler, right? And that's one of the most advantages why Flutter team consider using that as the main programming language for Flutter framework, right? So one of the most important compiler out of these two compiler is that JT. I think JIT, yeah, JIT, just in time. So this particular compiler actually keep some of your states. So immediately you change a state or you click on maybe like auto restart, especially. So that's why you get to see your changes immediately. I mean, maybe within a seconds you get to see your changes. It's because of this particular compiler, and so immediately you call like a set state method. This particular compiler will run and keep some of your changes, then update the necessary changes that you want to make, and then call the build method in order to render those little changes that you made in your UI. But one thing you need to notice is that it's kind of wrong for you to call a set state inside a dispose method. So dispose method is also part of life cycle in Flutter, right? So it's kind of wrong because I'm talking about dispose method right now. Let me move to the next life cycle. We have the activate method. So this the activate method doesn't really matter within the life cycle. It only matter when, for example, now you have two screen, right? Let's say there's this particular stuff whereby when you open an app, you get to see a more like a landing page or what's this called? I don't remember actually, but you get to see a a landing page. Then after some seconds, it navigates to another screen. So this particular method, the activate normally called inside the stateful widget when you are navigating from one screen to another. So what happens when this particular let's say code is that it remove the entire widget from the whole widget tree. Yeah, last week I talked about with I was in a call with Flutter for Flutter Festival, So I was talking about the I couldn't remember. So I was talking about widgets stuff, right? So then I talk about some of this particular stuff, like when you navigate from one screen to another. Okay, yeah, I can remember now. Like I talk about how you can optimize a whole widget tree. So particularly, firstly, I mentioned something when I open my slide. Like I talk about everything is a widget. So the whole of your app is made of a what? A widget tree. As you navigate from one widget to another, you are still within a what? A widget tree. A widget tree is more like you have a parent widget. Most especially, you wrap your what? Parent widget with material app. And this particular material app has something like some API that give you access to some child widgets. More like we have something like particularly like a route widget, home widget, where you have your default widget that is going to render immediately you open your app. So in this route widget, that's where you get to have like some widgetry. So immediately the activate method is called, it will remove that particular widget you are from the widgetry. But when you navigate back, it creates another state. And that's where this post method is what is useful. Because immediately you navigate from one, you navigate from one screen to another, you have some state already there. So during that particular time, you need to dispose some widgets. More like if you have animation widget or something, because those animation stuff actually consume a lot of memory, and that's why it caused some app like when you have some animation in a particular screen, then you navigate to another place. When you want to come back to that particular screen, you get to see more like the whole scenario happens slowly. So this actually caused by because it consumes a lot of memory. So in your dispose method, you actually need to dispose some of these widgets, or if you are listening to like some stream like a authentication stream or something, in this particular dispose method, so this is where you get to like cancel some of your stream, or maybe you are listening to a timer or something, or for example, there's this this particular form text form field where you get to like enter an input. So if you navigate to another screen and you don't want to have this particular text to show anytime you navigate back, so in this dispose method, this is where you can cancel, like you can dispose some of this widget. And that's what exactly the work of what dispose method does. So I'll be showing some like okay, have some useful link here whereby you get to like read some particular stuff about Flutter. There's a workshop if you actually want to engage one or two workshop. So this some of this link were actually provided by the Flutter team for people that want to engage in one or two things during this particular festival. I mean, Flutter Festival entirely. So thanks for listening. Before I go, I would like to show my screen here. So this is an example of a Flutter widget. So I'm using that part actually. So that part is just like a online virtual environment where you can run your dark code or Flutter code. But one thing is like you can actually like you can install some dependency here. That's one disadvantages. But you can actually use it to practice some stuff. So one thing is like I'll be showing some scenario of some of this life cycle I mentioned earlier. So here we have the create state here, then have the init state here, and this some of the stuff I talk about. Right? We have this post method here, the chain dependency here. So let me run the code. If you look at the console here, you see that the first thing created was what? Init state, right? So immediately after you call the init state, the chain dependency will be called. And that's where you get to see like, because inside my init state, I change the counter to what? To 2, right? And you can see that the counter is actually 2A. But inside the chain dependency, it occurs like immediately after you call, I mean, in a state, the chain dependency will be called and it will override any stuff that you have. But before the chain dependency can be called, your own content is like ready. I mean, the component is about like months. So you just have like some seconds for your component to mount. Because if I click on rerun again now, you get to see like immediately it show me 20 instead of what? Instead of 2, right? So that's some of the life cycle you get to see. Some of the reason why I was not using this particular stuff is like I don't have some child widgets here. So I supposed to like show you how this particular stuff work. Then if you look at set state, if I click on this, you see, okay. Now then inside the build method, you see like the one that is called immediately you call a set state. That's actually what I mentioned. Like the life cycle that I normally call immediately you call your what? Immediately you call set state. It's like it call the build method again to re-render the particular variable that you change inside your what? Inside your state, right? So anytime I click here, you see that the build method is calling, like recalling progressively. Anytime there's a changes inside your what? Your stateful widget. I think with this, I would like to stop here. Yeah. So if there's any question, thank you everyone. I really appreciate that.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that wonderful session. I believe we've learned a lot from that. Yeah, so if you could also make your slide available, that would be awesome. So we can share to the participant after now. So thank you for joining. In case anybody asks any question, if you have any question, you can drop your question in the chat box. We would make sure it gets to your question and answer your question. So, Muhyiddin, please, can you still be on, probably monitor the YouTube chat just in case you have any questions, so we can move on to our final session.
Yeah, sure.
All right, thank you. All right, so as I mentioned before this session started, I said we're going to actually replay the first session because we had some technical issues while we were trying to have the first session. So we'll be replaying it uh, so that those that missed out will be able to gain something from the session. So I'll bring on stage Isaac again, just in case you've not met Isaac. Uh, you would, I don't know if there's still any need for introduction, because after the stream, you can go back to watch the introduction from the beginning of the stream. So Isaac, we just continue with your session and would get to the point where you are.
Hello, everyone. Hope you are doing great and having an exciting time in Flutter Festival. Most especially, you're also learning from all other sections that have happened. My name is Isaac Adariku, and today we'll be talking about an exciting topic titled Calling Your First API with Stack Mvvm Setup on Flutter. Basically, this section just teach you how to get data from any API, model the objects, and you set it up with Stack architecture from FitStack. So let's get to know me. I'm Isaac Adariku once more. I'm a software engineer at FitStack. I started basically with native development, and I moved to Flutter, and I've been doing Flutter every day, joined with Firebase and TypeScript. I also mentor Flutter and Dart developers at HNG and Zoo internship. So without further ado, let's get to the topic of the day, and that is data. I think the main reason why we are having this topic is because of data, because data is everywhere. We need data in our app, we need data in our daily life. So as a developer, we need to know how to call this data. So here are some few questions I'll be throwing to you. to help us like a guideline to know why we are doing this. So basically, we need to know how we can get data into our app. We need to know how to integrate APIs into our app. And not just that, we need to know how to integrate it very well. So this is where MVVM comes up. So let's look at why we need to call API. So the word API will be going up and down. So API stands for Application Programming Interface. This allows application to actually talk to each other. So like I can open my Google Chrome, my browser, and I can go to www.facebook.com. I can get a response of the Facebook page. So my browser can actually talk to the Facebook app. Also, it provides building block when creating a program. I can define my user that all my users must have a first name, username, phone number. So with this setup, I can actually share it with the team, and the designer, when designing, he can know that, okay, because the API requests for first name, last name, phone number, I must put it on this design so that the developers can code that and send to the API. So also it helps developer to stop reinventing the wheel. So basically with that, I don't need to start creating a user every part of my app. I just need to create a user somewhere, and if like I want to do a review, if I just click that review, it picks the user ID and attach to that review. So that would be like the author of the review. So also let's look why MVVM setup. MVVM is more like the view model and model. So with MVVM, we can have a better separation of consign. This actually allows us to address a separate consign, like basically a single detail part of the app. We are consigned with that part. With MVVM, you can actually do this. This also flatten your dependency to create focus. By focus, I mean you can actually work on a single functionality of the app. You don't need to go start disturbing other dependencies because you want to work on a single functionality. And with this, you can actually test your code. You can unit test it because of MVVM. Because you are flattening your dependency, you can actually test your app easily and be more concise by injecting mock dependency into your test easily. So why Stack by Stack community? It's because Stack is a package on Flutter, and its focus it's more on MVVM inspired architectures. It has functionalities that helps us to set MVVM easily, and also it's target for a large application. So we don't want as a developer, we'll be building just only to do app. We want to target something very large, and the community is actually great. The community can help us to solve issues, like when you have issues, because all of us, we have a common goal. We can actually cover all futures issues anytime. So let's look like how API is working. So when you are in your app, you call an API, you have access to like music, Spotify, you have access to videos, YouTube, you have access to location with your Google map. So this is just like the visual display of it, and this is like the technical parts. Your app actually sends a request to the API, and the API responds back with data. And the data is structured in this manner. So we'll be looking and we'll be seeing some examples like this. So this is also a visual display of MVVM. Basically, it has view model, like I said, and model. This model just wrap functionalities like service and repository and other pattern that you want to use. So the view actually sends to the view model. The view model sends to the service or any functionality, and it replies back to the view model. The view model handles those business logic and sends back to the view. So you have separation of concerns. Nobody is doing what is not supposed to do. So with this, we can jump to the technical part of API, so we don't waste our time. Let's get our hands busy. But before that, we need to know how API work. So any application, let's say a user application, can make several requests. It can be get, post, put, delete, and you actually get a request and a response back from the API. The API just query the database and gives you back your data. This data can be in the form of JSON, HTML, and XML, but one of the most popular format we use is the JSON. The JSON is actually recognized by humans and computers, so it's easy for you to know that, okay, these like my key, these are my values and all. So we have just 6 steps to integrate API into Flutter. So basically, as you can see, we get the API, the URL, endpoints. Then step 2, we create a file that stores those constants, and we add any of this package to use to make API call. We need packages to make API call. We don't just want to go into our app and not find a package. There are several packages from Flutter that helps us to do this. So these are like one of the most 3 popular ones. So we create a model class to pass this JSON. We'll be looking into all this, and we create a service file that handles this API call, and basically this is what you need, and you can use the data in your app. So let's jump to the step 1 and 2. So what you do basically here is you get the API URL and endpoint. So the URL is just like the base address of that your API. So the endpoints are basically like /user/to-do/id. You can have any /. Those are endpoints that you can use. So basically what we do, we are using JSON placeholder. Is a free public API. You can go there and use it to learn and use it to test your app. So we'll be using the /users endpoints because it has a lot, and we can easily use that. So we'll create, after creating your Flutter app, which we will do that, and we'll now create a constant.dat, and with that we can add this, and this is how it will look like you have a class of API constants, and you add your base URL and you add your users endpoint. So next we'll be adding a package for the HTTP request. Like I said, there are several packages you can use, HTTP, Geo, but one of the basic and easy package to use is the HTTP package. So we'll go to our prospect.yaml and we'll add that to it. So with that, we'll have to create our model class. So basically this step, we need to create a model class to pass our JSON. You can actually use the key, but it's always advisable that you create a model class because it's actually effective and easy way to do it. So to create a model class, we actually go to the JSON placeholder. We get our response. Then we go to the app.QuickType and we paste the JSON response on the left side, and you can name your model any name you feel like. Then these steps basically just help you to create your model. So when you get those response from the app QuickType, you can create a file user model.dat on your app and you paste the code. So let's look at the service part. So what happened on the service part? We create API service file on the app. We create a method to actually get this. So these are the various steps we'll be going through to use, and we check. The last step is for us to check the status, and it returns, and if it returns the if it's 200 is like a success note for all API. Once everything is 200, it's always like you can see sometimes you see 404 not found. So 200 is like success. So once it's 200, we can actually get our JSON back. So at the end, this is how your API service will look. So basically, this is how we use the API. We create a user list, and we call the API service. And once we get the data, we set states and we can actually use it. So at the end, this is what we'll be getting from our app. So with this, we'll actually jump into the code, but I just want us to have a brief idea of what we'll be doing. The slide will be available for you, and you can actually go through it step by step so you get more insights. But at the end, this is how our app will look. So next, we'll go to the technical part of Mvvm after setting this up. So how do Stack work? Stack is actually very simple. It's just you have to set up your view models and then your services, just like the design said. The design said you should set view model. I said models can be your service, your models, your repositories. So the UI, the view just show the UI. It does not contain any logic. the view model manager state, the business logic, and any other user interaction. So the service is where it wraps a lot, like integrating an API, database, and others. So with that, you can actually do that. So we have just 5 steps in setting up MVVM using Stack. So that is we add the Stack package, then we create view model services folder to house the files, and then we for each view you have to create like the home view model, and inside of the home folder. So we use our Viewmodel Builder to wrap the widget, and you run your app and you enjoy all this functionality. So right now we'll be rushing to jump into our code. I have like the code set up already. So basically, like, I have 2 folders here. The first one is calling the first API. This is like basically 2 apps, and this is the next one with Stack. So we'll look at this. Like I said in the beginning, you have to create your constants. So this is like the constant I created, and after creating the constant, you place this. So you can, if you go to these sites, like if you click on this site, you will see their site, and when you add this /user, you will get response from the API. So I'll quickly show you that so that you can see. So this is like the base URL. So when I add /users, okay, so this is like my JSON response. You can see it's fast JSON. So with this, when I copy, when I go to app, that should be app. Okay, let me quickly. So let me go there and see. Okay. Okay, so passing our JSON. So this is it. So I paste the code I have from. Let me go and see. Okay, so I copy this and I paste the code. Okay. Button. Few minutes, please. So, okay. Let's see. Okay. So. Okay, so basically this is what you have. So I say you should select that and you copy your code, then you'll be having this at the end. So this is what it will generate for you. This is your model class, and this is what basically I meant by it helps you to set up your app. So basically, you need a name, username, email address, and this is just like our model, and it's because of the API we can be able to model this. So next, you move to your service. So the service basically just have a class that creates users, and it's we are using the URL parser to put in the constant that we create from here. If you remember, we create this constant. So we are having this constant, and we use the HTTP package. We go to our pushspec.yaml and we add this package, the HTTP package. So you can get this HTTP package easily by going to proof.dev and let me say HTTP. So you can get this HTTP and you install it quickly by just copying this line of code and you add it here easily. So after adding it, we have access to our HTTP and we import the package, and we use it to get our URL. And after that, we have a check because it always has a response, and if this response is 200, we basically have to now use our model class, the model class we created, that have this user model, it has a method from JSON, so we can actually use that method to get our body, and it will help us to model it in such a way we can easily use. So when you go to your main.dat, I'm using the normal default Flutter app. I just change the title, and also I created in the init state, I created the list of users we have, and also with this we can actually get, with this method we can actually get the we can actually call the API service and get our users. So there's a delay like 1 second, because the API we're actually using is like a public API, and it's actually very fast. So I just put this delay to delay it. So after getting into set state to set these users. So this view, we just use the view. So I created a list type, and I check for every users in this users, it should create, it should populate this list type, and it should put in the user ID, the username, the user email, and the user phone number. So basically, this is what it do. So I'll run it so that you see. I'll run the app so you see how it works. So basically, this the setup for when using the normal Flutter app, you are just setting it up to get data from this endpoints. The endpoints are in our constant file. So with this and the user, this slash user will be able to get this data easily on time. So our app is building to show us what we basically did in this part of the app. So what we can see here is that it's very easy, just few steps you are able to call your API, and as you can see, this is our API, and it's getting all the raw data. If we go back to this our endpoints, let me copy this endpoint so that I show you something quickly. When you go back to this our endpoints, slash users, let me confirm. Okay, so when you go back to this your endpoint, and you see, you can basically see that the ID is 1, and this is it, this is the person's name, and this is it, and also the phone number. Okay, so as you can see, our app is just reading what this JSON is providing, and it's actually cool and awesome doing it. So let's quickly move to setting it up with Stack, and let's see. So basically it's like the same thing but in an MVVM format. So this is the second app which we've set with Stack. So the first step we did was to add our Stack package from the poop.dev. So we add Stack at this point. The version is 2.28. So next we create these folders. So if you look, the difference between this is the files are here, but Stack have a way for you to, it has like a pattern. You have to use it so that other people, when the community, when they want to access your app, it can be easy. So we have like a model, a service, views, and the views contain the home view and the home view model. We still have our constants outside. So if you look, basically this is just our home. It's calling the home view. The model remains the same like our app. Then the service too, it's the same for our app. So the only changes here is that for your home view, you have to create a like you have to extend it with the base view model. Base view model is from Stack, as you can see. So you have to extend it, and you have to move those logic inside of the base view model. This is like our business logic. The view did not need to know about this. So we get our data, it calls, I delay it for like let me reduce it. So basically I'll close this so that I can run our app, our Stack app. So on the view, as you can see, the steps say that you should wrap. We are using a stateless widget here. It helps us to do that. And we wrap our view with our Viewmodel Builder and make it a reactive view. We connect it with our view model. So with this, we can easily use um, we can easily use with the view model builder, we can easily use the logic inside of the view model without us bringing our logic, all this logic to the view. So you can easily see that we just do model.users, and with this we can access all the data. This view knows nothing about what is happening here. So if I change any logic here, the view does not, it does not affect the view model. The view model only gets affected. If today we choose there is a requirement that you should change this logic, you change it easily without you affecting your view, as long it follows, it obeys the user's model that we have. So basically I will run our stack app, and you should see it's basically the same, but you have a clean code, you have your view model controlling all your logic, you have your view just knowing about what it needs to display using just widgets. There's no logic in it. It's basically just the view model controlling everything, and the view model is talking to our service, and the service is calling the API basically. So with this, you can see it's the same app we have, and it's actually cool using the stack setup. So you can have access to these files to compare. When we quickly compare the view of stack and the view with normal viewed from Flutter, you will see there are so many code. It's used the stateful widgets. There's logic inside of here. For me to work on this app, I have to check, but with the home view, it's clean enough. It's just about 35 lines of code, but with this, even though we move this, we are having like close to 40 lines of code, but that is not an issue. It's just that our code is clean and we can scale our app to an extent that we'll all be happy at the end. So with this, I think you'll be able to set it up following the instructions and seeing this. We have been able to call our API. So what we are seeing here is this is like our JSON, and we are still seeing it in our app. So with this, it's just easy to call. Once you create your service, once you have your service file, you follow these steps, you are done with it, and it's awesome. So thank you guys. I hope with this you have a free flow to use Stack, and you can easily call your API. So I'll quickly jump to our I quickly have something to share, like for the resources that we have. Sorry, just give me a few minutes. Okay. Oh, sorry. So I quickly have like okay. So yeah, button is back. So basically this how you connect. So these are some resources you can use to get. First of all is the flutter.dev. You go to the site. If you've not started with Flutter, this is like the best place to start with. You will see like get started here. So on codemagic.io, they have some wonderful resource to connect your API. That is one of my resource points. And to learn more about MVVM and Stack, you have to go to www.feedstack.com. With that, you can easily connect your MVVM, see various examples and options to do that. So with that, thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this section, and I hope you can follow up for any question on Twitter, and see you all. Thank you once more. I'll hand over to our host. Bye, guys.
Hi, everyone. That was a lovely session from Isaac. Thank you for joining us today. So I'll be bringing up, if you have any question, you can ask. Isaac is currently on stage. So, if you have any question, you can ask him. They would get your question answered. So, thank you for joining us today. And yeah, so you also be sharing this slide. Yes. So also the link, this same link you used to watch the live stream, or sorry, we'll be sharing the link to watch this live stream later on. So you can come back to it anytime. So we've posted a link for the data support. So you can click on the link to apply for data support. Then my final giveaway, as I said, is going to I'm going to announce it now. So, but you're going to answer this question. So, and the question will be, what is the title of what's the title of the third, sorry, the second speaker session? What is the title of Muidin? So if you know the answer, quickly drop the answer, drop it in the chat, and you're winning an amazing prize from GDG Mpape. So what was the topic of the second speaker? If you know that, just put that in the chat. And yeah, so that would be my question for the giveaway. Okay, I think it's a question for you, Isaac. Can you come up, Isaac? Isaac, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Thank you. So Great asks, is there a need for delay when you use a feature and awaits? Um, okay, the delay there was because of like this API is like a public API and it's always very fast. So I just need to delay it a little to like show you that you're actually calling a network. You know, over here in Nigeria, we don't have that fast network, but due to the public API, it's always fast. So that was the need for the delay. Nothing really. You don't need it when you use a feature and all it.
Okay, I guess that answered the question. So my question was, yeah, for the giveaway, my question was actually for Muidin, so not Cynthia. My question was for Muidin. That's the speaker, the second. Was it the second speaker? Okay, let's assume Isaac is the first speaker, Muidin is the second speaker, and Cynthia is the third speaker. So I need the topic of Muidin to drop it on the chat. So we'll be checking out for the winners. So just in case there's no other question relating to what Isaac just shared, we're moving on to call the winner so we can round up. So if you fill the data support form, we're getting back to you. Make sure you put your correct number and of course select the right network. We're reaching out to those that qualify. Remember, we are picking just top 20 to 20 participants. So so that will be all. So thank you, Isaac, for joining us today. We really appreciate you coming on board. Appreciate your talk. Please kindly share your slide with us and so we can share to those asking. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, you too. Sorry, I'm actually sharing the GitHub link, but I think YouTube does not accept some URLs. So I'll share, I'm adding the GitHub link to the slide and I'll send it now.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. That would be great. Thank you very much. Okay, so I think from what I'm seeing here, I'm seeing some answers. The first answer I'm seeing here, app life cycle. Nope, it's not complete. It's not complete. Okay, I think our winner here. Okay, let me just leave it up to Blessing to call the winner. So Blessing, can you call the winner? So I would not sound partial.
Hi, sorry about that. So yes, our second speaker topic was app lifecycle in Flutter. And from what I can see, the correct answer here, the first correct answer here is from Grace. And you wrote app lifecycle in Flutter. So congratulations, Grace, you are our winner for the giveaway. So kindly send a DM to us on Twitter at GDGPape to redeem your prize. Congratulations. And thank you all for attending the event. So over to you, Ayodeji.
Okay, so yeah, I'm done from my own end. Just for you to close the event, so I'll still be handing over to you. So thank you all for joining. I'm Ayodeji, and thank you for being part of this event.
Thank you all for joining. You can connect with us at GDGPape on Twitter. And for the speakers, for the host, you can connect with Ayodeji at ayodeji.dev on Twitter. And you can connect with me at Eloho on Twitter, ELOHHO. So thank you all so much and have a great day ahead. Bye, everyone.